Hey, it's Amelia, aka Big Tit.
And I'm Natasha, aka Little Tit.
And together, we're the Graveyard Girls.
Welcome to today's Big Tit, Little Tit episode.
Sorry.
Amelia's fine.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm sorted now. I didn't press play.
Well, before we begin, I can't really hear myself, so I think we're a good recording. We are trying to find and source some true stories that people have to share, whether it's ghost stories, cryptid
spooky
encounters, maybe true crime stories, maybe you were stalked or they found out where you lived. Basically any kind of spooky story.
Yeah, anything weird that's happened to you.
Can you send it to our email and maybe put the subject line as spooky stories and send that to thegraveyardgirlspod@gmail.com, because we're going to try and compile some spooky stories for everyone.
Yeah, because obviously last year for the autumn season we obviously did a witch trial, so we kind of wanted to do a season this year, but we wanted to make it a little bit different, so we decided, so obviously we wanted to do another bit of a season coming into autumn this year, but we wanted to get all of the listeners involved. So we figured if we got you to send us some of your spooky stories, then we could compile them all together. Mm-hmm. And then we can do an episode each week running up in the autumn season. But obviously we need you to send
Not
us...
each week, every, maybe once a month. So the joint episode we're doing today would be the spooky one.
So we'll add them all together into an episode. But obviously we kind of need you to send us the stuff first.
Yes, because we are trying to find them on a certain website, but we may have been permanently banned from interacting with some people, so it's going a bit slower than we wanted.
Than we wanted. We obviously already have a couple of our own that we will also be included, but we wanted more to make it more inclusive.
Also, if you have any alien stories that Amelia would very much hate, that would be helpful as well.
I know. Well,
if it happened to you, we want to hear about it.
Yeah, we want to know about it, and I want lots of proof of these aliens you've supposedly seen.
We don't need to be proof. Well, it's very similar to today's subject, what we're talking about. But if someone believes it, I kind of believe that they believe it. Whether I think it happened to them or not, that's a different matter. But they believe it, therefore it happened to them.
Yeah.
So on that note.
Yes, I have actually picked this one, and I went for the very controversial one because, as everybody knows, I do not like this topic. However, I found a Netflix documentary called Confessions of an Alien Abductee.
Yes.
As you can imagine, it has aliens in it. And it follows a series of people who claim to have been abducted by aliens. Mm-hmm. And at first I was like, well, this can fuck off. Then I saw the photos of some of the people and I was like, kind of need to have a little look at this. I was like, I'll listen to the first few minutes.
Yes. So I think obviously the main picture is of the woman Chantel.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously I experiment with my look, so I'm not one to judge people on how they look, but she looks like she's hiding aliens inside her hair.
Yeah, she looked deranged. Her hair looks like an alien head.
She kind of looks like Mars Attacks.
Yeah.
It's like she's hiding. I mean, that's a lot of hair. You've got good hair. It's a look. It's definitely a look.
It's unique.
It's unique, and it's her style. That's good.
Good on her for having the confidence to pull it off. But at first I was like, I don't know if this is going to piss me off or if it's going to make me laugh. So I was like, I kind of need to watch a little bit. And as soon as I watched it, I was like, what the fuck? And then normally I'd switch it off. But then I was so engrossed in these people because they are so bizarre.
This is what I find. When I can't sleep and I'm up at 2-3 o'clock in the morning, I'm on Discovery Channel. And it's when all the weird TV shows come out, and it's people are so believable in their story, whether I believe it or not.
Yeah.
But you can't turn it off.
Yeah. I just had to watch it because the stuff that came out was so fucking ridiculous.
And there's the MOD guy, the Nick Pope, who is legitimate. He's been on many programs that I watch, and I'm just like, oh no. Am I insane?
It was just as soon as it started, I was like, I don't believe any of this. But I can't stop watching
I did write down some of the accounts.
Okay.
So the first person that appears is a Labour councillor by the name of Simon Parkes.
Yeah. I have a lot to say about this.
Yes. So he said he was abducted by a baby and convinced an alien adopted him and sees the alien once or twice a month. And then it gets a little bit weird.
Yeah.
And then he's like, he has sex with a cat queen,
Yeah.
which I believe is an alien.
Yeah.
And then later on in the story, we find out he has 9 cats. And I'm very concerned.
Yeah. He also clearly has mummy issues because he claims that the reason that he felt so safe with this alien that was abducting him all the time as a child was because it was his second mother.
Yes, because his mum was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
So it kind of does explain a little bit of like this, why he might have made up this alien. It's like he's getting the love and care and the safety of his alien mother that his Earth mother cannot provide.
Fight for him. But then I got confused because when he started talking about shagging the aliens...
I think it was a different alien.
That's what I was thinking, because then I was thinking, has this gone like weird incest now? Because is it his mummy alien that he's having sex with?
Well, looking at the pictures that he draws constantly,
which are shit.
He has sex with the
they look like kids drew them.
Yeah, he has sex with the cat queen, not the one that looks like his mum.
Okay.
And he apparently has a child with the cat queen called Zarka.
And even though they couldn't interview his wife, she's totally cool about it.
Oh, no. She's upset.
Well, she doesn't like it.
She's very upset when she found out about it.
But she hasn't left him.
The circumstances, you probably may not be able to leave each other, or she just loves him and believes his story. But it's also very convenient that he ended up being abducted with a person in the car, and then it turns out that person is a woman who doesn't want to be interviewed, and they disappear for a few days, hours. It's very convenient.
Yes.
Where it seems like he may, putting it out there, he could be having an affair, and this is his cover story.
Yes. I wasn't having an affair. I got abducted by an alien. But also, and this is my biggest question, how the fuck did he keep... Like, how the hell did he make it into Parliament? Like...
I don't know.
It says everything about the UK government.
I don't think he came out with this story until he was in public office.
I know, but then how did he remain in public office? 'Cause you know when they do an interview?
Yes, because I looked, because I was trying to find, there's another Simon Parkes who disappeared, and it's not him.
Oh no.
It's some other guy. I can't find any record that he still is an MP.
Okay, because he was a Labour Party thing.
Yes.
And part of me, I wanted to Google, but I was also stopping myself.
Yeah.
Because I then wanted to find out if he fell out with his alien lover, would he then, obviously, would he then leave Labour and go to something like UKIP, because they're not hot on immigrants?
Oh, okay.
And I wondered, because then I was thinking, when did the UKIP party start?
The starty part. I'm not too sure.
Because I'm wondering, could he have got pissed off with his alien lover?
Maybe. Oh.
And then he started UKIP. Because he looked like the sort of person that would be in UKIP.
Yes, he does. Is that
And then I was thinking like Nigel Farage. He looks like a fucking alien.
Fucking hell.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay, I did screenshot because I know that you were like avoiding what. So this man, this is from 2015, so it's before the war that's going on in Ukraine at the minute.
Okay.
He said, so the man who was abducted, he said Putin had been part of a group advised by reptiles.
Right.
Nordics made a counter offer to Putin. The technology the Nordics are given to Putin is on par with America. I don't know what this is on about, but he's on about that Putin has a reptile committee.
Okay.
That he is advised by. This is from 2015. There's nothing about this man from then that I could find.
Is he still alive?
So this
Or has he been
documentary
permanently abducted?
So this documentary came out 2013.
Yeah, but I thought it looked like it'd been made in the 90s.
It didn't look too bad to me. I thought, okay.
Especially Chantal. I thought she looked like she was from the 90s.
I think that was her style in the 90s,
Okay.
therefore she's not changed.
Okay. I just felt like it looked like it'd been made in the 90s. Because at first I was thinking, I know it's a docuseries, but I was like, is this supposed to be like a spin-off thing? Like, is it actually serious? Because I couldn't take it seriously.
What annoyed me is that the person who was interviewing them clearly didn't believe them.
But that's why I loved him so much. I can't remember what he said.
But it's like these people are sharing these experiences.
Like, they were clearly worked up about it.
Yeah, and he's just like... He wasn't taking it seriously enough. Like, he
was
might
kind of
not,
taking the piss.
Yes, he might not believe it, but it's like these people are sharing their experiences that they truly believe.
Honestly, this is why I liked him.
You cannot be like this with them.
I think it was a moment when they were speaking to Chantal and she was just like, yeah, I got sucked off the street. And he goes, what in front of everyone else? And she was like, yeah. And he goes, what did they do?
Yeah.
And like, and then he was like, did they see it? And then she goes, like, I don't know whether they would have seen it because, or like whether it got like zapped out of their memories or something. And you go, So you like don't think they would have gone to the news with it or anything? And it's like to me that was my first thought. I was like, well, how did no one else see it if you got zapped out in the middle of the street?
They showed a clip of on the news that 2 helicopters were chasing a UFO. Not saying aliens, but I don't remember that.
No, I don't either.
And I was just like, well, why wouldn't that be on the news everywhere?
But this is it. So then I was just like, is it just odd things like we don't really think about it because we don't really take it very seriously?
Well, no, because I've always been a bit like, if it's in the news, I might remember something weird like that. I'm not saying I think I just
write it off because I'm too skeptical.
But like in my little child heart, I thought my dad was Men in Black, so I'm gonna be like, well, aliens. I'm gonna pick up that, I think.
But yeah, so then obviously another lady they looked at was obviously which one do you want to go for next? Which lady?
So I did it in the order that they appeared. So Chantel, sorry, she said she's been abducted over 1,000 times.
Yeah,
she lives in a flat with her 24-year-old son, who also claims that he has kind of got it too.
I feel sorry for the son.
I do.
I feel like she's become so delusional and paranoid with it that like he's now stuck there living with her.
Yeah, I don't want to say there's mental illness there, but
I would say that
her life has contributed into that he cannot maybe get his own life.
Yeah.
So he'll
be stuck there forever. And it's like when his friend came round for like takeaway and they were like, yeah, it's really taken over her life. Like she can't do this. And then she was just like, something about, I'm going to have to stop eating my KFC.
No, she just kept saying Kentucky. And it annoyed me. Just say KFC. Just say KFC, not Kentucky.
And then she was just like, it's bringing back memories.
Every time we have Kentucky, they like come. And I'm like, stop having KFC then.
And I was like, but I wanted it to happen when they were on camera. Like, her just get like, do they go for a weird wavy form and then just
No, but then she's like, well, they could just take me. Like, I'm just standing and then like they take me and they put me back exactly how it was. So then you only know that times happened. And I'm like, if she gets abducted and she's like, I disappeared, did you see? And luckily she didn't.
I was waiting for it.
Luckily she didn't. Oh, and then so
it's
then
like it pissed me off but made me laugh all at the same time. Like I just couldn't take her seriously. Like she's clearly unwell and I really probably shouldn't be taking the piss, but I couldn't help myself.
See, I believe it in the way that she believes it. I don't want to do it that like we're taking the piss. I don't think we are. We're looking at it on a whole.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's elements that are funny.
I found it amusing. Let's put it that way.
I mean, I couldn't stop watching it.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised it was only 50 minutes long because I thought it was like a few episodes.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, it's ended.
It was, I kind of wanted more on it, but then I'm thinking like, would it have pissed me off even more?
Yes. And then, because her son's, like you said, he came around. She's also saying that like the aliens are moving stuff in her home.
Yeah.
And she's like, I can't find my cigarettes. And it's just like, maybe it's a ghost.
But yeah, it was just how she was describing, like she was just walking in the street and it just plucked her out like it was a busy street. She was just walking somewhere. She was like, I saw it in the sky and I knew what was going to happen next.
Yeah.
Like, I knew they were going to come for me.
Yeah, because this woman also saw it. She was like, oh, I know what that is. And the other woman's like, what is it? And they're like, they're here for me, just watch. And then I'm like, okay.
And yeah, it was so ridiculous. Like, it was so obvious to me that it didn't happen. And it's like, they're just...
But, like, here's, like, counter-argument. What? Okay, every person who... Not everyone. Most people who claim to be abducted by aliens have a certain look. Is this because they have truly been abducted?
Or they're just mentally ill?
Or... Yes, or they're mentally ill, or it's like this is what happens when you do get abducted. You start to look like the classical
mad person.
I've been abducted by aliens. No one's going to believe me.
I don't know, because I know they set up this whole helpline to help these people.
Well, I mash.
Yeah. But the more they went into those, the less seriously I could take it.
Yeah, because like I was like, okay, they've got a trained therapist. I was like, okay. And then she comes along and then she was like, oh, I saw this dark being in the middle of the night. And then
when she started saying stuff,
wiped all the
computers.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh, you were like the scientist, but the mental scientist on this part. Yeah, thank you. And I was just like, oh,
yeah, she's loopy as well. Like, I feel like she was a psychiatrist and got struck off because she had a mental illness herself, but then like decided to open up her own practice, and then this is how she did it.
But another like counter argument: what if these people are being abducted, not by aliens, another government,
right? Okay.
Tested on or see what
probed,
see what they can do. See, because some people might be abducting other people and see what they can get away with.
Yeah, and then these people come back in their own deranged, but no one believes them. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like, I
mean,
know this is why they
it's a
set up this group.
perfect-
It was
yes.
for people that don't believe them.
Yeah.
But I think it goes from being a bit funny to a bit harmful because there are
Yeah.
people with different mental health conditions and they're so delusional, but to them it's real.
Yeah.
Having this type of group then allows them to feed into that, and rather than actually treating these people for the illnesses that they actually have, they're allowing them to go along with their delusion, which in the long run I feel like is actually more harmful.
Yeah.
And I just
It's
don't like that.
hard.
Felt like that they seem like the people that are supposed to be helping them. To me, they seem like they were off their rockers as well.
Yeah. It's hard because like they believe it so much that I want to believe them. I'm not saying
Oh, sorry,
aliens-
dear, I'm just too skeptical that I'm like, no, you're mad.
I don't know. It's just I'm like a little child. I'm like, okay, there might be. It's like I don't think they're gonna get anything from it unless they're trying to sell a story, and then therefore I'm gonna completely dismiss it. But I'm trying to like, okay, they believe it. I'm trying to like, okay, it might not be true. It might be true. I'm not saying, but it's just like, how do you get through a window?
Yeah, it's true. Like, it didn't take any of the panes of glass
How
out.
do you get through? Oh, especially when the man, he was like, I did write it down because I was just like, that sounds like something else. It felt like he was being sucked out.
Yeah.
And I was just like, no, you should not be doing
And
this.
then he was talking about having sex with these aliens, and I was just like,
You're cheating on your wife.
yeah. But also, is he like got some opium induced? Like, you know, like you're thinking MP's like drugs. Is he like high on something? And then he thinks he's been abducted by aliens.
Maybe. And then the man's just like, what, through this glass? And
Yeah.
he's like,
That's what I liked. He was like, what, this bit here?
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, just that bit there. And I was like, that for me was where it's funny because I
his
know it's really
tone.
bad.
I didn't like his tone.
Yeah, it was patronising and he was clearly
Yes.
taking the piss out of the guy. But also, if I was doing the documentary, I feel like I'd be enough of a knobhead that guy would have been me.
I would have done it in a different tone. It was
You
the
would have.
tone.
You would have been sensible. I wouldn't, because I would have been egging them on.
Okay, speaking of another experience, this woman who lives in a flat in Kensington
Yeah.
called Marie, she said she gets sucked through the ceiling. And I was
Yeah.
just like, but then like she's on the 4th floor, there's other people above her.
Yeah, how does she not go? How do they not see her go through her house? Also, like, there was just so many things around her because she was the one where, like, she tried to go to the doctors and
Yes.
all the doctors were like,
It might be this, and she was like, oh, I've never had that.
yeah. Then she went
You
for a
haven't
DNA
even-
test to see if she was part alien.
Okay, there is a I came across this on a legitimate TV show. I
Okay.
think it's called like Unsolved Mysteries, or History's Greatest Mysteries. People with my blood type, O negative, it's slightly different from other people because
Yeah.
I'm a universal donor,
Okay.
and people are not sure where that comes from. So technically, it's alien because they're not
Okay.
sure where it comes from. It's not from space,
Okay.
but there's like things. I do have it on my phone, so I can't really like go through it all. But like people with this type of blood have certain attributes that other
Okay.
people might not have. But her going and be like, yeah, like
It was the
her
woman taking the
dismissive-
blood.
yeah, her dismissing everything just because she's so adamant. And like when she went to their mash
Yes.
and they did like a little scanny thing, it looked like he had a shower head.
Yeah.
And he was just like, ooh.
But also, like, I knew that was fake as soon as he went in. Like, he was playing up to it with her.
Yeah.
And, like, it was so obvious it was fake. And then when she decides to do the lie detector test, and I thought, first of all, the polygraph, one, that is not scientifically
Yes.
correct. So I was
Yes.
like, well, this is going to be fucking stupid to start
Yes.
off with. And then I thought, are they going to rig it? But then when the guy disagreed with her, I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. But she got so
Yeah.
fucking angry when
Yeah.
the guy was like, it's suggesting you're lying. She was like ripping the equipment. She went, I'm not lying. I have been abducted by aliens. I do
Yeah.
see aliens.
Yeah.
And she was like, this guy, I don't believe him.
It's like, I get it. There's like a slight trigger warning. Her daughter committed suicide.
Yeah.
She believed because she was abducted by aliens, and now she thinks she's now with aliens. So I think she's very defensive about her story. But
Yeah.
it's also like you need to be open about your experience because they're doctors.
Yes.
They're professionals. You might be like in your body, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
So get it checked
It
out.
was just, for me, like, I see, he did mention the daughter until right at the end,
Yeah.
but beforehand, because
Yeah.
every now and then he mentioned stuff about the daughter, I wondered, is either the daughter disappeared or she's died.
Yeah.
And this alien thing has come about after the daughter's died. And it's been like a weird grieving, like coping mechanism sort of thing. And then when they did mention the daughter, I was like, I was fucking right.
She said she was been abducted since she was like 3 years old.
Yeah. So, yeah. And I also feel like, I'm not saying she pushed her daughter to be the way she is, because that's not how it works. But I wonder if the mum has always been like that. Had it put a pressure? Like, was the mum mentally ill and it's put a whole new pressure on the daughter? And then, obviously, mental health doesn't necessarily run in the family.
No.
But it can.
Yes.
So I wonder, with her growing up in that environment, could it have put more pressure on the daughter?
Especially, that's what they say with Chantal and her son, that like it's hereditary apparently. Abductees tend to run in the family.
But that's it. So,
but is that because you hear it from your parents?
Yeah, it's so drilled into you. Like, imagine if your mum was saying like, "I've been abducted again," and like things like that. Like, what do you say? Like, it becomes, if you've got it from such a young age, like, you kind of believe it yourself. It's like, why would your parents lie?
Yeah, I listen to podcasts all the time with like spooky stories, and they're like, I've experienced missing time. Not that I've been abducted by aliens, but something happened to me where I've lost consciousness or I've lost time, more so than me just blacking out.
Yeah.
That's believable, because it's like, well, that can happen.
Yeah.
Not saying they've been abducted by aliens, but like, this could be kind of like it is for them. You just kind of check out for a few hours.
Yeah. It's just, it was so unbelievable. Like, the more it went on, the more I was like, yeah, this is definitely, like, some of it was phony. But it just pissed me off with the second woman. To me, it was so obvious they were trying, it looked fake and phony. The Chantal woman, she was clearly, like, she so believed it. She was just fucking weird anyway. And I kind of did feel a little bit sorry for her at one point, because I was like, this woman actually genuinely believes it, but also she's so unbelievable that, like, it's kind of making me laugh. And then the MP one, I couldn't take it seriously. I was like, this just sums up British politics altogether.
I mean, if he wasn't as, like, descriptive as he was, and like, oh, I've been having sex with aliens, don't say that bit.
It was that, but it was also the pictures where he was like, I like drawing. Then he went to the shop and he brought like special drawing pencils, like expensive drawing pencils. And I don't want to shit on it, 'cause not everyone's a perfect artist, but the drawings looked like they'd been done by children. And it was like, when he was colouring it in, the more stuff like that happened, the less seriously I could take him.
I think it's because he's reverting back to childhood in that state.
It's clearly some trauma.
Yeah, it explains his, not invention, but his possible invention of the alien.
But I just think, like, how did they take him seriously at work after that? Like, can you imagine if you recorded that and then you went back into work? Like, you'd be a laughing stock.
Because in the 90s, you know, the Arizona lights, where they saw lights in the sky.
Yeah.
A politician did come forward and he said he saw them.
Okay.
And then a few days later, or a few hours later, he was like, I think he did another press conference, and then he came out with like, here's the people responsible for it, and it was people dressed up in an alien suit. So It was like he saw it, and then he was like, I'm gonna get some backlash for this. So then he was like making a mockery of what he said he saw.
Right. Okay.
So, but this guy did it the other way around. He was just like, I'm just going to go for it. My alien's mum, I'm fucking a cat queen. We've had a child.
Yeah.
I disappear every so often, so, convenient. My wife can't find me.
Yeah, it was one thing I was asking about, like, oh, what do you do? Do you see your kids very often? Yeah. And things like that. But it was like, I really wanted, I was gutted that his wife wouldn't do the interview, because I wanted to know what she looked like, first of all. I was like, is she normal? Yeah. Like, I wanted her to talk, and then...
It's heartbreaking that these stories seem to hold most of these people back in life.
Yeah. To me, they all have mental illnesses.
Possibly.
I don't believe... I know I'm really sceptical about the alien thing, but to me, it seems more plausible that they have a mental illness than the fact that we're actually abducted by aliens.
I'm open to the idea. I'm not saying they are, but like, if there's other species visiting, it just kind of makes sense to like keep an eye on some specimen down here.
But like, why them?
I don't know.
Maybe
because it's like, well, no one's going to believe them.
Maybe. I still don't, especially with Chantal, when she was just like, it was in the middle of the street, it was like right by the pub. She was like, I was talking to so-and-so, and then I just got zapped into the skies. I don't believe that no one else would have saw it. Or like, how are they brainwashing everyone else that they don't see it?
If someone else saw her get abducted, then you've got...
It would be in the fucking news. You know about it.
Because there's another story from, I think, 70s. This guy, there's a few guys, like, they were tree chopping in
Okay.
America, and they were going down this path in their vehicle, and they saw lights, and this guy got out the car, and they saw like the light get really bright. This guy disappeared.
Right, okay.
No one heard from him from 5 days, so they witnessed him like disappearing.
Yeah, and then they reported it.
Yeah, so they're like, you've got that kind of proof, but then you've got no proof with these people.
Yeah, but also like this thing, like where Chantal's living is like your classic British council estate.
Yeah.
Like there was kids out playing all the time. Like someone would have said something. There is no way on a fucking council estate that no one would say anything if like just some alien fucking spaceship came and zapped someone into the sky. Like word would have got around. But also I kind of, at one point I was half expecting them to like interview her neighbours or something, or like other people in the area, to see if they go like, no, she's just a fucking lunatic. But they didn't.
Yeah.
And like part of me wanted them to. Like it wouldn't be very nice for her, because I feel like no one there probably did speak to her. Like they all thought she was a bit of a nut job. But also I wanted to see like that guy go like, oh, have you seen the aliens in the sky?
Imagine if they did. They're like, oh yeah, they're like,
Oh yeah, this is normal. It happens all the time.
yeah, it's fine. So this is what happens. Like,
But
no
I
one
was
speaks about
expecting like a group of like teenage boys like all to come up. You know, like when the kids are silly,
Yeah.
like trying to get on camera, and they're like, "What are you recording for?" And then like they'll be playing along with it, and the kids tell like a funny, stupid story. Like that's what I was waiting for.
Yeah.
And yeah, it didn't happen. Like I said, it frustrated me. Like it gave me a giggle because I couldn't not watch it once I started.
I couldn't
like,
watch it.
Other alien things, like I watch a few minutes, you listen to like the techie people, and I'm like, no, you're pissing me off now. I'm switching off. I don't like it. But this, I was just so mesmerised by her and her fucking hair.
It's like she's trying to hide an alien.
Yeah, it was like she was hiding something in there. Like if someone said to me like there was alien technology, yeah, like an antenna.
Yeah.
So
When that Amish guy Miles sends her like what she thought was a vibrator,
oh no, yeah, I forgot about that.
and it's like a little crystal with like a wire stuck to it, and
Yeah,
she's
she was like, where am I putting this?
it's like, that's not going to protect you. Like even I looked at it and I'm like, that looks shit.
Yeah.
At least put some like wire on it.
Yeah, she was like, what am I supposed to do with this?
So it's not going to help.
Yeah, I think she did say that. She was like, I didn't use it. I didn't think it was going to help. But yeah, I don't know. Just the whole thing. Like you've got to go and watch it, because like to me, like when you think of like, especially like 90s England, like if anyone in another country is curious as to what it's like and what council estates are like, watch this programme, because it will give you, it's almost like a perfect insight into what some of our working class families here in the UK, because everyone thinks like prim and proper, aren't they? Like, oh, drinking tea. What happens in this programme is like it is a very stereotypical certain social groups in the UK. I think it captures it perfectly.
It does. It's so strange.
It's sad, but
Yeah.
it also captures it perfectly. And I couldn't help. I shouldn't have been as amused by it in certain places as I was, but I couldn't help myself because it was just so obviously not real.
I kind of wanted more of it, to be honest.
I did want more. I kind of want to follow up.
I was like, oh, is there another? I was like, oh, it's just a one-off. Like,
I want, even if they just do like a follow up with Chantal, like I want to know like what she's up to now.
I hope she's okay. I hope they're all okay.
We found out like they've all been put in some sort of asylum or something.
As-
I want to know what's happened to him.
It just kept coming up with some guy that disappeared. He was from the Navy. It's not him.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I was just like, MP.
Yeah, I was waiting to find out like he'd started UKIP or something. You know, like if he fell out with his alien lover.
While we're on air, let me quickly do
Yeah,
a
when
little
when
Google.
was UKIP formed? It must have been before then. Because it did genuinely look like it was filmed in the 90s or maybe early 2000s.
It was definitely like 2012-ish.
Yeah, I know it came out in like 2012, 2013, but...
UKIP is from 1993.
Oh, fuck off. Okay, so it couldn't have been that. I was wondering, like I said, if he fell out with his alien lover and then started UKIP. Because then I'm thinking like Nigel Farage. Like I'm thinking like he looked quite alien-like. So I'm like, oh yeah. Like they can't let other aliens in.
It's like, no, she fucked off. No, it just comes up with a there is a Simon Parks,
Okay.
and he was appointed chief financial officer,
Oh, fuck off.
but I don't believe it's the same one.
Okay. I just felt like they couldn't have let him keep his job, surely, after that.
No, if it was very like limited on what experience he was having with this
Yeah.
certain alien, he might have been fine.
Yeah.
But if he was, yeah.
Because it's like with the whole Boris Johnson thing from years ago. You know, before, like, when he was, like, London mayor, like, he did, obviously, funny things, and everyone was like, oh, he's funny. He'd be funny to have as the Prime Minister. And then it actually happened, and we're like, yeah, okay, this wasn't a good idea now. Like, I imagine this guy getting into, like, properly, like, into the Houses of Parliament. And, like, I imagine, like, if he fell out with his alien lover, like, and then him being taken further, and I'm like, can you imagine if he made it as Prime Minister? But then, to me, like, how he was talking and everything, like, it is your classic British Parliament. I was like, no wonder politics is so fucked up in the UK if, like, that's what we're allowing. Because he was a Labour leader, wasn't he?
Yes.
I'm sure he was a Labour leader.
Who? Sorry.
The Simon guy.
He was a Labour councillor.
Labour councillor. But you can imagine him, like, posting leaflets through your door and speaking to you about aliens. Like, he's supposed to be talking to you about, like, party committees, and he just ends up talking to you about the time he got abducted by aliens.
Yeah. Nothing comes up on him from, like, less than 9 years ago. So,
okay. He vanished.
There's a little bit of a thing that popped up. Apparently, he lost his virginity to that alien when he was 5.
Oh no, he was molested as a child. I'm sorry. This is where this whole alien thing's come from. I'm telling you, it's mental health. It's from, like, a traumatic childhood experience. His mum was an alcoholic, probably, as harsh as it sounds, letting any old man into the house. He's raped the kid. He's traumatised, so he just pretends he's been abducted by aliens to another world.
Yeah.
I've solved the case.
Literally nothing comes up on him. No.
But it is. They're all linked to a trauma.
Yes.
The other woman, obviously, it's the suicide of her daughter.
Yeah.
He's clearly been molested and abused as a child. Chantel, some things obviously happened to her somewhere along the way. It just, to me, it's a mental health issue, not they've actually been abducted by aliens.
Yeah.
Which sounds hot. It's sad, but it's probably true.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bit shitty. That sounds a bit shitty and sad now to end the note on. But yeah, this is for me why I can't believe any of the alien stuff. Because to me, it's just so far-fetched. Like, and like, that's so unbelievable. Like, the way they did it, there was nothing in that would make me think, yeah, I believe in aliens now. It just makes me believe in them less.
I always look at it like, if they can gain anything from it, whether they can or not, that adds to whether their story is legitimate. And also how they act. If they're very dismissive, like Marie is, like, it's not that illness. I've never had that. Yeah. Illnesses develop. You can't just be like, I've never had it.
Yeah. It's like she wanted it so badly that she just refuses to accept anything else.
Yeah. You have to look. You can't just be like, this is what it is. And then that's all I'm aiming for. Because look at how she reacts when it's not what she expects.
She doesn't like she kicks off.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I didn't like. As soon as the guy we're getting the polygraph guy, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yes.
Yeah, and then when he was scanning her head, I was like, I don't believe it. It just,
Especially when he had a blackout tent. And then I was like, oh no.
What are they going to do?
And she's like, should I take my top off? He's like, no, just lift it up. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I'll be honest, it's not made me believe in aliens anymore.
I have seen 2 UFOs in my life. I'm not saying they're aliens. It just didn't look like a plane, so therefore it's unidentified.
I'll believe it when I see one.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess that's it for today's episode. So I suggest if you haven't already, you go and have a look at this thing.
Yes, so
more than anything, just go and have a look at Chantel's hair, because I mean, I'm not going to lie, that is out of this world.
It very is. Like, how much hair do you have for it to be like...
How does she get it up? I was thinking, does she hairspray it?
Yeah, she probably is the one damaging the ozone. But yes.
Okay. But yeah, so at least I might have to include her in a picture on Instagram.
It's the alien abductee. Oh, Confessions.
Confessions. Wait, I did save it. Let me have a quick look.
Confessions of an Alien Abductee on Netflix.
Yes, that is correct.
Yes. So yeah.
I guess that's it for today.
It is.
So in the meantime,
keep creeping
and we'll keep digging.